This is Radio Nepal. I'm Kaushal Ghimire with the news. The headlines first. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda says Nepal is steadfast in its One China policy. Prime Minister Dahal leaving for Uganda's capital Kampala coming Thursday to attend Non-Aligned Movement Summit. Election Code of Conduct to be enforced from tomorrow considering National Assembly election scheduled for January 25th. And Palestinian death toll nears 24,000 as Gaza marks 100 days of war. Now the news in detail. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda has emphasized the strong ties between Nepal and China based on mutual understanding and support. Speaking during the inaugural ceremony of the first Chinese New Year celebrations in Kathmandu yesterday, the Prime Minister reiterated Nepal's commitment to the One China principle, recognizing the People's Republic of China as the sole legal government representing all of China, including Taiwan. The Prime Minister expressed satisfaction with the progress of agreements and his recent China visit, and highlighted the shared cultural connections between the two nations. The Chinese ambassador to Nepal, Chen Song, also spoke at the event, pledging support for Nepal's development and the implementation of the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, in Nepal. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda is leaving for Uganda's capital, Kampala, coming Thursday, leading a Nepali delegation to the 19th Summit of Heads of State and Government of the Non-Aligned Movement, NAM. The summit is being held in Kampala on the 19th and 20th of January. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Nepali delegation includes Minister for Foreign Affairs, Naren Prakash South, Foreign Secretary, Sewa Lamsal, Prime Minister's daughter, Ganga Dahal, and senior government officials. The Prime Minister is scheduled to address the plenary session of the summit on the theme Deepening Cooperation for the Shared Global Affluence on the 19th of January. In the margins of the summit, the Prime Minister will have bilateral meetings with heads of states, heads of governments, and other high dignitaries attending the summit. The summit will be preceded by the ministerial meeting on the 17th and 18th of January. Foreign Affairs Minister South will leave Kathmandu on the 16th of January, that is tomorrow, leading a Nepali delegation to the ministerial meeting of the summit. Nepal is a founding member of the Non-Aligned Movement and has been actively participating in all NAM summits since its inception. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda has directed Nepal Drugs Limited to immediately start producing 20 generic medicines. The Prime Minister called a team of Nepal Drug Limited, including its chairperson, Yagyenyupani, to his office and instructed the government pharmaceutical company to start production. He also lauded the initiatives undertaken by the pharmaceutical company to produce medicines. The Prime Minister stressed on initiating works by producing 20 generic medicines for now and enhancing both its quality and volume in the future. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda has directed for promptly providing amount the government owed to the contractors. During a discussion with the construction entrepreneurs held yesterday at his office in Singh Durbar, the Prime Minister instructed concerned agencies to immediately start the process of paying the dues to the construction entrepreneurs. On the occasion, the Prime Minister directed the Finance Minister to promptly release 1.71 billion rupees, the outstanding amount from last year, and 6.30 billion rupees in due so far in the current fiscal year. The Election Commission has set the expenditure ceiling for the candidates in the upcoming National Assembly election scheduled to take place coming January 25th. As per the limitations set by the Election Commission, a candidate is allowed to spend up to 350,000 rupees. Such expenditures are allowed in getting the voter name list, for transport and fuel purchase, the management of publicity materials, seminars, interactions, mobilizations of representatives, and other various headings. In a press statement yesterday, Election Commission spokesperson Saligram Sharma Paudel said the expenditures should be made through a separate bank account or a regular account in financial institutions, but its details should be presented to the Office of the Election Officer and the Election Office. There are a total of 51 candidates in all 7 provinces for the upper house elections going to be held to elect 19 National Assembly members. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has decided to enforce the Election Code of Conduct from the January 16th, that is tomorrow, for the forthcoming National Assembly election. Meanwhile, the parties in the ruling coalition have called for making the coalition candidates victorious in the upcoming National Assembly election. Maghe Sangranti, also known as Makar Sangranti, is being celebrated throughout the country today. It is celebrated by savouring delicacies like ghee, yam, and khichdi, sweets like chaku, and sweets made of sesame and molasses. As per the astrological chart, the Makar Sangranti has special significance. From this day onwards, the sun starts its ascendancy and enters the northern hemisphere. On this day, the sun's rays move from the Tropic of Capricorn towards the Tropic of Cancer. It is believed that the days get longer and nights shorter from Makar Sangranti itself. The Newar community also observe the festival by taking ghee and chaku and remembering the departed souls. The Tharu community and Magar community observe this festival as Maghi with much fanfare. Likewise, the people in Tarai districts mark this day as the festival bath known as Nahan. The government has announced a public holiday today on the occasion of Maghe Sangranti. Meanwhile, President Ramchandra Paudel and Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda have expressed their best wishes on the occasion of Maghe Sangranti today. You're listening to Radio Nepal's 8 a.m. English News Bulletin. Now on to an international update. A top UN official said that the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza was staining humanity as the conflict in the besieged territory crossed the 100th day. The head of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, Philip Lazzarini, said in a statement that the massive death, destruction, displacement, hunger, loss and grief of the last 100 days were staining shared humanity. Lazzarini condemned the horrific attacks that Hamas and other groups launched on the 7th of October, which resulted in the deaths of 1,140 people, mostly civilians. Israeli officials say some 250 were taken hostage, of whom 132 are still in Gaza, though 25 are thought to be dead. According to the Hamas-run Health Ministry, Israel has pounded Gaza since October 7th, killing at least 23,843 people, mostly women and children. According to the Palestinian officials, 85% of Gaza's population has been displaced. Now, the general weather forecast for the country for today, according to the Meteorological Forecasting Division. The weather will be partly cloudy in the hilly regions of Kosi Province, Bagmati Province and Gandaki Province, and mainly fair in the rest of the country. There are also chances of light snowfall at 1 or 2 places of the high hilly and mountainous region of Kosi Province, Bagmati Province and Gandaki Province. With this, we have almost come to the end of this news bulletin, but before wrapping up, let's have a reminder of the headlines once again. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachanda says Nepal is steadfast in its One China policy. Prime Minister Dahal leaving for Uganda's capital Kampala coming Thursday to attend Non-Aligned Movement Summit. Election Code of Conduct to be enforced from tomorrow, considering National Assembly election scheduled for the January 25th. And Palestinian death toll nears 24,000 as Gaza marks 100 days of war. Well, that's all the news we have for this bulletin. Our next bulletin in English will be at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.onlineradionepal.gov.np. Keep listening to Radio Nepal and have a good day.